Onside kicking it as always. What's good, sick as full?
What up? What up, Ghost?
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great as always. How you doing?
I'm excited for Turkey Day, to be honest with you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Ready to eat. Ready to deep fry my turkey like I do every year, man. I'm amped, bro.
I'm ready for some good football on Thursday. Actually, it's always
Excited.
fun. Yeah, wake up 9:30.
We got some good games.
Yeah,
We got some good games, man.
we'll get into that later. We got Week 12 recap.
As always.
I think this week was a little ugly, to be honest. Like a lot of players didn't score the way they should have, and
It was weird, man. It started off hot. I feel like in the first 5 minutes or so, I was on Red Zone channel. And it was like, brought to you here live. We got 4 touchdowns already. And I was like, damn, it's going to be one of those days. And then it just fizzled out.
yeah, it was a tough game. I mean, a lot of like high projected players didn't do what they wanted to. But let's get right into it. We have a Thursday night game. It was the Titans versus the Packers. The Titans traveling to the Packers. One thing I did mention, I did say that the Titans do well on short weeks,
Yep,
and then they also do well in the interconference games.
You did.
So those two facts alone let them eke out the victory. 27-17. What did you think about that game?
I'll be honest with you, man. King Henry's like the monster of prime time. I expected a little bit of a bigger game, but it was really cool to see him throw a touchdown pass. Like to me, I knew he'd get in the end zone. I knew he'd do something. Did not expect a pass in the air. Like he threw a TD. That was dope to see against Aaron Rodgers. As a Steeler fan, I don't like the Packers. They beat us last time. We made it to the Super Bowl, so that's that. I got Aaron Jones on my squad. I was kind of hoping for him to have a bigger game. It was weird, man. You just look around and you got this rookie from the Packers side, just low keys, like not quite there, but he's showing some brilliant spurts of like, this is the guy. What did he get in there? 2 more times? It's 5 touchdowns in like 5 days or something crazy.
Yeah, I think he's kind of there now. Like the hype was there. It's trust, it's confidence, it's all those things. But I think they're going to roll him out moving forward. Just a couple key stats. Henry, like you said, he threw for the touchdown. He also 28 carries for 87 yards. He's not getting that,
Yards per carry wasn't crazy, but he still was
got the
guy.
touchdown. He's out there. I mean, that's part of their game plan, right? They want to run you down. They want to break down your defense. They want to give you troubles. For the receiving side, Burke, 7 receptions for 111 yards. He looks like that number 1 receiver for the Titans, but I don't really trust any receiver for them, really. So I think Henry's the only person you're starting. To Green Bay, Aaron Jones, 12 carries for 40 yards. He had 6 catches for 20 yards, so might have saved the day PPR, but it wasn't the performance you really wanted to see.
That last drive, he got a couple of receptions, thankfully. But yeah, man, in a half PPR league, those don't help me as much.
Yeah, I think Watson kind of is the new star as far as the receivers go, but Randall Cobb was back, which I think helped Rodgers a little bit, and Lazard, so they're getting a little bit more comfortable, and I think the team just has troubles, to be honest, like as a whole. Like they played well against McCarthy, revenge game, but falling 4-7, I don't see too much of a bright outlook for the.
I think there's as good as Watson played. I think that they're still lacking depth at the receiver. It was good to see Randall Cobb out there. That is one of his reliable sources on like third downs and whatnot. But they were just behind the chains on every down. It's like first down, they get 1 or -1 yards, and then it was just, third and longs. And it's really difficult when Rodgers has to kind of scramble for his life. So not much action in that game. I was surprised that the Titans, ended with a double-digit victory. Thought it'd be a lot closer than that. I really thought the Packers can pull it off, especially coming off of a Dallas Cowboy win, which I can go on and on about. But yeah, man, interesting to say the least. What about the Bears and Falcons, man? What do you think about that game?
So this was my lock of the week, which I took the Bears +3. Push. Can't be mad. It's not an L. And it was kind of in that range where you knew that they were going to push. Like, I mean, there was a chance, I guess, at the end of the game when they picked them and then they ran to the first down that they might have had to either score another field goal or thing. But luckily, they were able to run the clock out and we got the push. But again, that's why I think the 3 points is so much, especially when you're betting. Like I said, I'll take a push any day of the week. It's not a loss. They didn't get blown out. They're winning the game. They could have easily won. The big news is Justin Fields actually got taken off the field with an injury. So that's something you want to monitor. He's like, top 5 QB moving forward, and he's been the QB1 in the last couple of weeks.
I want to interject while we're on Fields, man. I feel that they're going to run him to the ground. I get it. There was no Herbert. I understand. You got David Montgomery, who's more than capable. I get it. David Montgomery, career-wise, has a very low yards per carry. I think it's 3.2 or something low like that. But man, they're doing like end around jet sweep formations almost from under center, and they're not even giving him an option to get rid of the ball. So he's literally becoming like the RB1. And he broke the NFL record, 175 yards. I think shortly the very next game, 150 yards. What did he finish with this week? I think he almost broke 100 again.
He had 18 carries for 85 yards.
18 carries for 85 yards, and that's why he got hurt.
Yeah, so I think, like you said, Montgomery, and we talked about this with Khalil Herbert out, is definitely a must start. He's shown that he's a volume workhorse guy, and if he gets that volume, he's slated for that volume, especially with this running attack and this new running offense. I think you have to start him. As far as the receivers go, Darrell Mooney got into the end zone 4 for 29 with the touchdown. I still don't trust him yet. This is too low of a volume for the passing. We've yet to see Fields just release it with the arm and just
Matt is
30, 40.
Only guy.
But he's still had 3 catches for 35 yards. So
from tight end though, tight ends are hard to pull.
Yeah,
if you're waiver wiring,
But if he's not getting those touchdowns, he doesn't have too much upside.
TD dependent for sure.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously, we're going to monitor the injury of Justin Fields on the Falcons side.
Real quick, so sorry, Claypool, ghost.
Yeah,
Claypool is a fucking ghost on that offense.
2 receptions for 11 yards.
He's not even getting out there. Like, it's crazy. I'm watching the game and I'm like, damn, they don't even have him in. And it goes to show you why the Steelers were so prone to letting him go. His route running ability is god awful. So when you talk about a scramble option like Big Ben used to do, like Fields used to do, and buys that extra time, that's where a QB and a receiver start to get that confidence within each other, because they know off of just like brainwaves, hey, he's going to find the open zone. Even if I'm rolling right, he might see something left, I'll throw across my body, and it actually might make sense. With Claypool, he just sits there. He just literally sits there and sits there and sits there, and he kind of doesn't even look back for the ball. It's awful, and I really thought that'd be a good home for him, but boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, so again, I don't trust any receiver really on the team. I mean, if you want to roll out Cole Kmet because you need a tight end, or if you want to start Darnell Mooney just because he's getting a lot of touchdowns with his low volume targets. But other than that, not too much I would like to start from the receiving. Same thing applies to the Falcons receivers, and a big injury to Kyle Pitts, tore his MCL. He got placed on IR. He's been
finally had a decent game.
Yeah, I mean, he had 3 catches for 43 yards.
That's decent in his terms.
Yeah, for him, but so now you don't have to worry about him mowing over if you're going to start him. As far as the running backs go,
look who the fuck it is.
Oh, what up?
Easy motherfucking does it.
What's up? We got a special guest. Before you go. What's up?
Who the fuck coming in?
Yo.
Who is that? Oh, dude, we famous, bro. We famous, bro.
Oh, nice.
We famous, bro.
We're on the screen. We're just talking right now a little bit about Kyle Pitts getting injured.
That's an analyst vibe right there. You feel like you're coming into work and you can hear the guys playing in the background. You're like, oh.
Hey, I'm just saying, bro. We on right now. We on the Falcons. We on the Falcons and the Bears right now. He's recapping Falcons, man. So what else?
So that's the only thing Cordell Patterson. He got a kickoff return touchdown. He's now in the lead with 9. I know Devin Hester is he's the record for kickoff returns. Hester has 20 for just returns in general, which are punts, kick returns, field goal returns. But as far as kick returns, he's now leading the league. He's leading career most return touchdowns. But as far as the running backs go, Algier 8 carries for 55, Patterson 10 for 52. He obviously got that the return touchdown, which helped his fantasy input, but it's going to be tough to start any of those guys. I like Patterson moving forward, obviously, but
I'm be honest, bro. It's still a head scratcher for me. Like they're putting this guy on after IR. They put him on kick returns. Short week on Thursday, and they still, bro. Look at his explosiveness. My guy broke 100 yards, 103-yard fucking kick return. Before he went down, he was ultimately 15 carries minimum. Yeah. And Algier, I'm sorry, dog. He does not show me anything. I get it, dude. Like, he's more than capable. Let's see what the guy's got. Sure. But I still don't understand why they're not featuring Patterson in better scenarios, bro.
The only thing I would be kind of alarmed of is the fact that he is doing kick returns. So that means that they're not going to try to give him the allotted snaps that he should be getting as your only running back. Because if he's your starting running back, you're not going to put him out there to return kicks.
Exactly.
So let's just try something new, actually, low-key. Yo, East, you want to jump in for these next 2 games or what? We got Browns, Bills, and then we're gonna move on to the other one. If you want to come jump in,
Browns and Bills, dog.
come on. What do you
Come on in, homie. What you got? Browns and Bills, doggy.
See what we got. Oh, we got any info up here? We got some statistics.
A little bit of stats, a little bit here, a little bit of that.
You have your phone or anything or what?
Yes, host. I got my phone over here. Let me get that game.
I'll start off while you load
Go
up.
ahead.
bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
Browns and Bills.
Check.
Amari Cooper. So he has been statistically Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. When he's at home, he balls out. When he's on the road, we're talking less than 10 points, couple point fantasy outputs. He's legitimately garbage on the road. I last minute put him in the flex over Pickens because I figured, you know what? They moved the game. It's in Detroit. Maybe it's not so road feeling. Maybe the whole team might feel like, hey, this is road for everybody.
Already balled out.
And he balled out, 2 touchdowns, had some fucking yards, had some catches, targets, balled out. What do you think, man? Bills? What do you think about the Bills, bro?
Hey, they won that game. They won 31-23. I guess that was an easy call, but what about Josh Allen? He only scored like 13 fantasy points.
That was weird.
So if you have him for fantasy, but what's going on here? You know, so I'm not ready. I'm not prepped. I just came in here last minute, right? We'll just hit you with that organic stuff about what's going on with that fly. What's up, Tiff? And also, I'm gonna be like on the side note. When I left my house, I was like, this is gonna be that moment. I'm gonna look into that camera and be like, is this too small of a shirt?
Is this too small for shit?
Is it small or how?
I think so, because this right here is that level of like any smaller than this, no bueno at all. Because I'd be that
It's a
dude clowning.
schmedium?
It's a schmedium. I'd be that dude clowning that guy. Be like, hey, bro, like we get it. You went to the gym and all that, but like you need to have that tight of a shirt on. But once it went on, it was too late for going off. The deodorant was already on there.
Oh, that's the worst, man. You take it off,
I
it's all
wanted to
fucked.
look at that really quickly, but yeah, I guess this is the level. This is like any smaller than that. No, yeah, I can't do that. No.
Hey, Josh Allen, obviously I think he might be a little bit rough. His elbow might be a little rough. I think that they wanted to take the pressure off red zone turnovers because I was like, what the fuck is going on? That's not like him characteristically. And then Singletary low-key was getting the job done. For the first time, they relied on the run, and it turned out to be fucking scary. If they can put up 31 points in a game where Josh Allen had that stat line,
197 yards and a touchdown. That's it. Three
That's pretty scary.
rushes for 7 yards.
Running backs for the Browns.
Nick Chubb pissed me off. You know, I got him in fantasy in the other league. He just really never got going. They were down a lot. So, you know, unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to really do his thing.
Well, I
I
think it's
think Kareem Hunt-
31-23, and they didn't. The ballers didn't
Yeah,
ball
but
out.
that-
Allen didn't have a
exactly.
good game. Chubb didn't have a good game.
Exactly.
Amari balled out on the road, like you said. He can't do anything on the road, but this game he did.
Kareem Hunt, low-key, I thought he was going to get some action considering the fact that they were down by 2 scores for the most part. And even he wasn't really balling like that.
Let me ask you a question. Should I cut Kareem Hunt or do I keep him on my roster?
I keep him on the roster just in case. I mean, at the end of the day, unless you find someone that
you have
can
to keep
literally
Kareem Hunt.
grab other than him, because if Chubb goes down, that's it, bro. He's RB1.
Yeah,
and
little
he's more than
standalone value.
capable.
Little standalone value, and
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a game where you know they're going to be down. Watson comes in, and maybe him and Watson just fucking hit it off. And he loves having Watson out there, and Watson loves having Hunt out there. I mean, I keep them for at least next week to see how they at least play together.
I was listening on the way when you guys talked about the Bears Falcons. Yeah, you're saying running into the ground.
Right,
Is that what it is?
yeah.
Yeah,
They're running him into the ground.
Yeah, he probably will be. But
I mean,
he's the
bro.
beast. What are you gonna do?
The guy put up, what, 400, 175, 150, 325, 80, 400 plus yards in 3 games.
Beast, though, huh?
It's like Derrick Henry numbers. Let's move on to the next one, man. Eagles and Colts, man. This was very odd to me. Jalen had a decent game statistically because he had his rushing touchdown, he had his throwing touchdown. A.J. Brown, fairly quiet again. And I told everybody this. I'm really nervous about
He
this.
caught like
Goddard,
5
man.
passes on like the first drive. No,
I
like
know.
3 or 4 passes.
He had 3
right?
passes,
Like
3
right on the
catches in the
drive.
first drive. But
And
here's
he
what
ended
scares
up
me.
with only 5 for 6.
No Goddard. And I told you guys this.
Some say Goddard, some say Goddard, huh?
They're tomato. I told you about this, though. Bro, think about Goddard. Goddard is sitting here in the middle of the red zone, always finding ways to fucking at least pull the defense, block. He's a great blocker. Not having him is so detrimental to this offense. And I told everyone, I said,
did
bro, in the
something.
red zone,
It did
they're going to
something.
probably struggle.
No, yeah, I did
At
something.
least until they make their adjustments, which I think they're more than capable of doing, so mind you. But right now, without Goddard, oh my God, bro, I don't know how they're going to figure out ways to get A.J. Brown more involved, Devonta Smith more involved, Dante Smith more involved. They got, obviously, bro, running back galore.
That game, 17-16, they came back and they won it. Great.
Yeah.
Frank, or what's the coach's name for the Eagles? Nick Sirianni
Yep. Yeah,
was under Frank Reich.
I
Okay.
did not know this.
I look at the press
That's
conference
why he was
afterwards.
so amped after that
dude, see,
game,
that's the stuff that I like.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I feel like, you know
It's
what
a
I mean?
revenge.
Dog, he was emotional afterwards because he's like, I got my dad. He named one other guy, and then he named Frank Reich as his like, and then he said, oh, if you really want to know what I feel like about, because they fired him, they ran him
Right.
out, bring in Jeff Saturday, which they won the first game and they almost won this game. So you can't say that there's not a response. You
Right.
feel me? Like
Right,
this
right,
dude's
right,
not
right.
a coach. He even
Right.
came out like he said that this could go terrible. It could go good.
Let's be honest though, bro. It's going well.
Really well.
I mean, you got to win your first game in, and then arguably the best team in the NFL right now. You hold them
Yeah.
to 17 points, which no one's done all year.
and they said if it
And
wasn't
then
there like a penalty on that game,
Yeah.
there was like a face mask if they
There's
catch
a
it or
face
something like
mask.
that, and then the
they
Colts win
didn't
again.
call the face mask last week
Bro.
against the Eagles, which they should have.
Some real
which
shit.
would have helped them. Or they did call the face mask last week, which hurt them because that was it. It was the game was over, and then all of a sudden they got another drive out of it.
Yeah.
And then opposite happened this one where they actually saw the face mask.
This dude's been in a huddle with Peyton Manning for
Yeah.
14 plus years. He knows how to run an offensive line. He knows
I
how to
think their
control them.
offensive line
He's
is
a
what's-
motivating dude.
Yes.
And these guys are playing. So that's the stuff that I like when you watch football
I
like
think,
that. You feel me?
I think when at first it happened, I was like, what are they doing? You know, I was like, seriously, what the fuck are they doing? And then after I realized, oh, he's an offensive lineman. So as a Steeler fan, we had Munchen. Okay? Munchak, whatever his name was. He used to be a Titans head coach. And then he moved over and was an offensive line coach for us. This is the Le'Veon Bell days. And
Le'Veon Bell,
what a dude,
dog.
J-Bo. This was the Le'Veon Bell days, bro.
I was just gonna say I can't wait if Steve Jason's in here because the Raiders got that
their
big
double
win.
OT.
I called that all week. I wasn't on here. I put it on wax, but I was like that week, lock of the millennium.
I called it this week on
Squeak it
here.
out, but
I called it on here, but I was so hesitant the whole time. I was like, I mean, I got to go Raiders. I just can't see it any other way. Maybe the cries helped them. I don't know. But no, bro, on a serious
Devontae
note,
Adams is so good.
on a serious note, though, I saw what it was like to have an offensive line coach. It's like what the most underrated thing in football is the offensive line. And so just the fact that he's a motivator, he's Saturday is like he's uplifting. He's getting that like let's
So
run. I'll
you
play
watch
for you.
ESPN? You guys watch the shows when he was an analyst and stuff?
Yeah, oh
he was
yeah,
a good
100%,
analyst.
100%.
And on that real
Articulate,
stuff, like
very
was
on
it,
point.
when I Get Up, they were like, no one's ever met Jeff Saturday that hasn't liked him.
Right.
Right? He's been like, he's a genuine dude.
Right.
And then you get that, like, if you see Rex Ryan is as a coach now, and that dude is like, he gets me motivated. Like, if he was your coach, they were saying like you would jump in that foxhole with him, like you would run through a
There's
brick
no
wall
way
for
you
this
wouldn't
guy.
play with this guy.
Exactly.
Or for this guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely no way.
Yeah, but it messes up the coaching hire, like for all the dudes that put in work. You put in the work as an assistant, players that were in the game. What is it right now? Like 9 former players are coaches right now.
Right.
The Dan Campbells,
Right.
the Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
It's down the
I mean,
road.
you look at the NBA, it's like that too. The Steve Kerrs, the Larry Birds.
You
It
just
happens,
jump the line because this is your drinking buddy.
Yeah.
Because Jim Irsay and Jeff Saturday pounce them back, bro. They
Not
get
only that,
lit,
though, but
they have a
there's
good time. And
there's
he's like, hey, you want to
clearly-
coach? I'll
there's
give you a couple million,
clearly
coach.
Something they saw though in his coaching style that they felt, look, dude, what do we have to lose?
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we'll see how it goes, man. But I think the Colts are a sneaky team. They're gonna have really good lines in our favor, and I think we can maybe get a nice little hot run with picking the Colts in some cases. Oh, you could try again.
Give it a shot. Why not? Load it
I
up.
think that's the charger though, Loki.
Boo, boo, boo.
I really do. I think that's to charge it. I think you have to Bluetooth sync it.
Go ahead. Okay, let me say 2 things real quick.
Please come on in, bro.
So, let me just take your mic.
Here.
So,
gotta
first
say
thing,
it.
number one, Jonathan Taylor is back. So, as long as Saturday's the coach, feel comfortable starting him.
I agree.
Michael Pittman, I like him with Matt Ryan, but again, he's in that WR2 kind of category. He has not too much upside, although he does get some targets. And for me, I took the Eagles second half -6 when they were down. So I covered. I also took them the week before against the Commanders when they didn't cover, but I kind of like those lines. I like the Eagles getting points or money line. Obviously, they haven't performed well their last 2 games, but luckily they came through and covered the bet for me, which is what I like. So
Yeah, there's nothing better than the original play that you see spread-wise. And then from the spread at half, whatever the difference is, it's like, damn, now the Eagles can win by 1 and I cover versus taking that first half line, which I think was 9 or something crazy. It was double digits or something, I think maybe even. So yeah, I agree. I like that play
And
a
under,
lot.
Dave, we took under that one.
We did.
That was
Yeah,
an
we
easy under call.
yep, we definitely like that.
Colts? Yeah, that was, huh?
So next game up, AJ, you wanted to holler at this game, man. I'm gonna have you jump in right now, bro. Let the brothers handle this, man. We got the Jets and the fucking Patriots, man. Talk about that boring.
Oh
snooze
man,
fest.
what an exciting game that was.
Yeah, kind of boring. The only things I want to touch about is the running back situation. I've been riding, but I've been just keeping my eye on James Robinson and what he's going to do. Luckily, I cut him. He's gone. He might have some upside on the stretch, but there's just such a low volume offense out there, and this is the case when you have Zach Wilson as your quarterback. On the Patriots side, Ramondre Stevenson's getting his touches, getting his work is good to see. The only downside is Damian Harris did get involved in the game plan, so he did take away some of those touches, but Ramondre still is the guy you want to own and the guy you want to be starting moving forward. So that's about it.
No, New England, Ramondre, and maybe Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, but I just don't really trust Mac Jones. And again, I want receivers in high volume offenses that have touchdown upside, and I just don't see that with Jacoby Myers. The floor is just way too low. Same thing with Garrett Wilson and the receivers for
That
the
dude
Jets.
sucks, but it's also the Patriots type
He
of
doesn't
thing too.
suck. He's good if he's a rookie.
He kind of sucks, but the thing is, not that he kind of sucks. They asked him afterwards too. Did you see that the post game?
I didn't see it. What?
Like, did you disappoint your the reporter asks a smug reporter question, but he just goes, "Do you let your defense down?" He's like, "No."
I didn't see it.
You lost your team, bro. You lost your team. Like, they don't like you now, for sure. I mean, that's my opinion. Because a leader takes accountability.
Right.
You feel me? A leader takes that.
Hell yeah! If we'd have put up some points, we would have.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly right. And the perfect example is a Jalen Hurts type, a Patrick Mahomes type. They might be physically better, but also Rex Ryan told a story about Joe Namath. Okay, that famous quarterback we all know, right? They said he was the best leader that he had ever seen in his entire life ever. He threw a pick on the tape. It shows that the receiver, again, you have to know your football stuff. The receiver made ran the wrong route. It was on him, and he said it was my fault. Like he was that guy. You feel me? Just so confident in himself. He's like, no, it was my fault. I made the interception. It was on me. So he takes the heat off the receiver, right? And it's like that's why. And then what do you think his players are on afterwards? Again, on that like motivating tip, like damn. You feel me? Like, oh shit, like this, right? And on the Zach Wilson guy, that's that like.
You know, Zach Wilson, the Jets had 2 yards of offense in the second half. So that's pretty disgusting. But the one thing I will say is the Jets defense is the top 10 defense moving forward.
Yeah.
So if you have some good matchups with some bad quarterbacks, look to start the Jets. Ghost, Jared, I'll get you back in. Let's go. I like this. We got a little musical chairs over here, so.
Hey, I swear on everything I love, this was not planned. So don't think like we doing some weird shit here. This man just showed up. We out here partying now,
I
dog.
was out of the blue. It just came through.
What else we got? We got Oh, you know what? I love
Hey,
this
that's
one,
a
man.
cool cat, man.
I love this. Everyone got to see him on one of our streams, man. He walked right across, or I guess that was his brother that did that. This game was dope, bro. This was the Rams and the Saints, man. I actually, we posted a video on our platforms. By the way, like, subscribe. Onside Kicking It on all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, of course. But we actually posted a snippet of this particular game and what we felt would happen moving forward. And it was a dope clip to see, man. So I straight up was like, look, man. The Saints and Andy Dalton played on prime time 2 games in a row. He played solid teams, the Cardinals, and then he played the Eagles. No, not the Eagles. Eagles. No, I don't remember who the fuck it was. It was prime time. He threw pick sixes, the whole 9 yards. And then
Chevy P.
What it do, Chevy P? Hello.
Oh, hello. Oh, that's what he's saying, huh?
Yeah, it's hello.
Oh, it's hello instead of hello. How you doing over there, huh?
So Andy Dalton goes from 2 primetime games in a row, and we all know he's garbage on primetime, right? Then he goes
Correct.
on the road to play his former division.
Not unlike
in the
Kirk
Pittsburgh-
Cousins.
Not unlike him.
Not unlike Kirk Cousins.
So he goes to Pittsburgh. The energy was wild. Watt's back. And I said, yo, man, of course he lost that game, right? It doesn't surprise me if this next week it's a morning game. He's going up against the Rams, who have no Cooper Kupp. And I straight up was like, I don't care if Matt Stafford starts or not. The Saints are winning this game. I moneyline them. I said they're winning this game because there's no way around it They're not dropping 4 in a row. And this is that typical bounce back game where all the cameras are off and you get a chance to just be yourself. And
And
I
it
think
sucks.
that's what we
It's,
saw.
as the Rams know, and you lose Cooper Cup, man.
That's it.
You're already 3-6. The offense was terrible while he was there. You lose him, it's like, ah,
There's
man.
nothing you can do.
Yeah,
Allen
exactly.
Robinson's not going to step up like that. Van Jefferson's not going to step up like that. And then we could go on a tangent. 'Cause think about this.
Exactly. We go on tangent because I see Jay Bird and Chevy P there. Raider fan, Ram fan. Chevy P had the high last year, right? The chip, got the chip, was loving it. But as a fan, you wear that emotion on
Yes.
on your heart and sleeve, right? Like
100%.
there's only so much you can do. But there's like right when your team is, when you're capped, like injuries or some shit happens, it's like, man, what can you do, bro? But I was about to repeat the same thing.
No,
So I
I mean,
know what it's like to be a fan,
Of
right?
course,
Like you
bro.
live and die on these plays, and you're optimistic. Like if I just
100%.
one time you win, we could turn this shit around. And
I mean,
it's like
this is the thing, bro. The Rams are the Rams. We know what they're worth. We know what they can do, right? They're disruptors on both sides of the ball. They have phenomenal coaching. But when you take away Cooper Kupp, and you also are in a position where you don't have a running back that's like performing, and this is kind of a little fucked up for me because Henderson, prime example, 2 carries, 9 yards. It's not like he's going out there and he's getting stuffed beyond belief. 2 carries, 9 yards. You got no Cooper Kupp anymore. You got to develop the run game.
yeah,
And they said, Cam Akers, I'm not going to play you. And
Yeah.
Darrell Henderson, okay, like some kind of running back committee. And I don't understand if maybe there's like some deeper issues with the coach. And
I mean,
I
McVay's
don't
still
know.
a great coach, and he's young, so he'll be there. I think that with Kroenke, not a rebuild, but they're not going to be bad too long. They're not going to be
Right.
dormant, like bottom.
I mean, how many more years do you think Stafford's got? 2?
Not too many, but
3?
yeah, you're right. See,
I mean, he was a Lion for a long time, bro. It was
Yeah,
like the
true.
Peyton Manning to the Broncos type of a move.
That's
It's
true.
like you can't rebuild now.
yeah.
What do? You bring Odell back? That's not going to do
It's
it
a
for
football
you.
show, but it's similar to like the Lakers. That's what I say. Like P says, you're right. Last year's ship does make it easier, but it still hurts like the Lakers this year. I was like, hey man, LeBron and AD, you got LeBron and AD, you're contending.
Oh, dude,
We're gonna be in the playoffs. We're gonna be a top 5 seed, and LeBron's gonna get his 5th chip. Like, let's go. And then you see him suck and just getting throttled every week. You're like, damn, man. That at some point you kind of like you disassociate, or you kind of
you disassociate as a fan,
I can't
100%.
do this to myself.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm an emotional brada. I'm an emotional brada. I end up.
He said that part, man, for real, bro. I mean, that's what it comes down to, man. It's tough, man. You guys are in a tough division as is. Obviously the Niners getting CMC, and you guys need a running back more than anyone. It's like if you guys made the move to get CMC, Christian McCaffrey, bro, all of a sudden we're talking about the Rams, because guess what? They had to run Coop on every fucking route. That's all Matt Stafford can do is throw it to Cooper. And P, we talk about this all the time, Chevy P. When you played football with me in these park leagues, you used to be like, yo, bro, this is annoying. And I'd be like, what's up? You're like, bro, he throws you the ball every single time. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what it is, bro. He's like, look, as a receiver, like a Cooper Kupp, I'm like, I'm open. I don't give a shit. I'm open every single time. I promise you there's a space that you could throw this ball. If the DB's between me and you, throw it over the top, rainbow it. If the DB's beyond me and I'm cutting it short, dude, throw a line drive and I'll get there. And I think that's the relationship.
It's a rapport, a trust maybe that even the quarterback has. That like,
the Bruce, Isaac Bruce and Kurt Warner days. I mean,
Carson Wentz with Ertz. I think they might have been roommates. No? Yeah, that's why he was so good.
I mean, I think it
Like
just
the Raiders,
comes down to that.
it just seems like Derek Carr only throws to Devontae Adams.
But
But throw it to him, bro. He's good. He catches it every time almost.
Say, can you blame him? Renfro
No.
goes down. They got this one guy that comes out there every once in a while that does pretty good. But all in all, man, I mean, you need a run game, bro. And legitimately, bro, the Rams don't have it. And then you lose Cooper Kupp, dude. That's it. You guys have to just chalk it up and hopefully learn from that. McVay already felt stupid and crunchy when he hurt himself 2-3 weeks prior to that. Last play of the game, he felt crunchy. He's like, it's my fault, it's my mistake. And then the same thing, they're down double digits, and it's Coop. You already know. Yes, sir. Next up, AJ, man, I wanted you to holler at this
Oh
game.
yeah, here. You know what? I jumped in.
Lions, Giants, AJ. This was your game, Lions, Giants.
All right, let me see.
You guys got some picks over here that you guys hit on?
You already know, dog.
Yeah, Lions, Giants. So I think the biggest story in this game is Jamal Williams and him just getting 3 touchdowns, 17 carries for 64 yards. He's the guy you want to be starting over DeAndre Swift.
You brought that up last week. I totally agreed. Like, bro, it's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, he's the guy. I think Swift is kind of getting phased out. He's supposed to be getting healthier and healthier, but I just think they don't really want to give him all those touches. And I think moving forward, Jamal Williams is the back you want to be starting. He's proven how good he is at scoring touchdowns, and he's the goal line back. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 receptions for 76 yards. Do you like to see him involved? So those are the must-start guys really from the Lions side. And then from the Giants, Saquon Barkley had 15 carries for 22 yards. Not really an impressive game. Wan'Dale Robinson, 9 catches for 100 yards, but left with an injury. He was the only person that I would take as a flyer because of his upside. I'm not really sold on Darius Slayton, 5 for 86. Like, it's out there, but again, these are one of those low-volume passing attacks that I don't want anything from the skill players other than Saquon Barkley. The one thing I do want to mention is Matt Breida. He is a potential high-level handcuff if anything does happen to Saquon. But, yeah, that's pretty much it.
How did this happen? How does Saquon have such a bad game against the Lions? How does Josh Allen have such a bad game against the Browns?
Well,
Can I tell you,
how does this happen?
The Lions specifically said, we are going to stop Saquon Barkley. We just want to see if you can beat us with your receivers. So I think that was a thing of game plan for the Lions.
Remember the Lions head coach. Where did he come from?
Campbell, I don't know.
Belichick. Belichick. The Lions head coach came from Belichick, no?
Yeah?
He came from Belichick's team. He was defensive coordinator for a really long time, wasn't he?
Patricia?
Yeah.
No,
Patricia?
no,
not
that's Dan Campbell. He was
Dan
from
Campbell.
Miami, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was coaching at Miami for a little while.
Dolphins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got that fucked up. Never mind. I was going to say, one thing that you learn from the Patriots, they always take out the best player. And there's been a couple of times where we play the Detroit Lions, like one of my fantasy squads, where I'm like, oh, we got the Lions on tap.
Yeah.
And then they just throw up a dud.
Yeah, you know what, dude?
I think Amari Cooper threw up a dud against the Lions on the road.
Sitting on the flies, the Miami Dolphin at that time, there was a coach who had a amount of cocaine on the table and was recording himself because he had a stripper mistress pleading to her like, I'm sorry or whatever. And this is out there. Go look at this up.
I've seen the film.
You've seen the film, right?
I've seen
Who
it.
is
What?
this coach?
Oh,
It's one- it's like
you
the-
made me think of that. I'm like,
I was
oh
one of
my
the line
God.
coaches. But I'll let you jump in because you got the next game.
Go for it.
Yeah, so no, you
I
can
was
jump
like,
in.
that's what these coaches are doing, bro. This is the world that they live in.
I think that was under a different regimen. I think the new
Was
coach.
Dan Campbell on that squad though? Maybe. See, he could have been a coach at that
I
time.
think he took over because of what happened. They cleared house.
Hold on, have you guys seen The Last Dance on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, did you see how when Jordan got to the league, the hotels were full of blow and that's just the way it was? I mean, we're talking about a different genre
Changed the
now.
culture.
Nowadays, bro, with camera phones and everything, there ain't nobody living that
He was
life
recording
anymore.
himself. It's one thing like
What the
if he recorded to send to her and then she put him on blast to be like, look what this guy's doing.
That's unbelievable, bro.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No. This was
we got what, Panthers, Ravens.
Yeah. So Panthers so disappointing. I don't even want to talk about Baker Mayfield. That's what I was trying to get out of this clip. I'm 3 points. I mean, come on, dude. Like,
I mean, look, we know the answer wasn't going to be back to Baker.
I thought he was gonna be better than PJ Walker, though. You know, I thought.
No, I feel you on
think
that.
that
I
I
feel
thought
you
Baker
on that.
could make some passes, score
I
some
had
points.
to tease this game, and I took Panthers plus 19 because I was just so, like, it was weird to me. I know the Ravens usually after a bye, they're kind of sluggish to start.
And actually, that's what I want to talk about is Lamar Jackson. He's
So slow.
He's since week 3. He hasn't been
So
a top
slow
10
to-
QB. So, East, how do you feel about Lamar over here? Since week 3, he's not really been. He hasn't been performed. So I'll let you kind of touch up on him a little bit.
happening to Lamar.
What do you mean? What are you gonna do? You're gonna start him moving forward, or
There's no way you can. There's no way you cannot start. There's no way you can bench Lamar Jackson. Unless you picked up Justin Fields and you have him, then by all means, go ahead.
Right. Or maybe a Dak Prescott, maybe.
Matchup based wise, but
Matchup-wise,
yeah,
yeah.
and you just got to cross your fingers now and hope that he comes through at the very end. It is worrisome.
I think once they get Gus back, I think he's a lot more dynamic than, what's this guy's name again? Not Murray. What's the guy's name?
Duvernay,
No, the running back that played in place of
Kenyon Drake.
Gus. Yeah, Kenyon Drake.
But a few weeks ago, he had a really good game. See,
I
like a few weeks
understand
ago, he had
that.
like 100 and some yards, 2 touchdowns.
Totally
Again,
understand
the
that.
Jekyll and Hyde-ness of the NFL. It's very. No, I don't want to sound like a skeptic because I love it. It's entertainment at its finest. But when I say it like it's fake,
we call it
oh God,
WWE.
it's
all day,
WWE.
bro.
Like, oh my God, this shit is so scripted, and it sucks when you're on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Like my heart goes out to you if you had a play, a bet, a fantasy, something, and then you lose by that. Just like Like this stuff sometimes is really, 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 really fake.
I think they did Lamar kind of dirty. Like as an organization, you look at Jalen Hurts, like they got him AJ Brown. Like think about what Lamar got. Like he got Hollywood. He got Hollywood that
and then they
got
traded
shipped
him
off. That is only chemistry that he for the most part had.
His
really
floor is
young
always going to be
receiving
high
core.
because of his legs.
Right,
So
of
he'll
course.
run.
Yeah.
But yeah, his throwing now
But
has
imagine
been a
if
little
he
bit
got an
worried.
AJ Brown like Jalen
Yeah,
did.
absolutely.
Or a Goddard
But
like Jalen did.
Correct. But their whole offense is predicated around that
The run.
3 tight end
Sure.
set always and pound
Which
on the run.
Mark Andrews is a
Correct.
beast and a half, but he goes down, so then that was a little tough for him. I know likely kind of stepped
But
up.
then in games, though, especially in the playoffs, when you're going to play the Chiefs, you're going to play the Bills, you're going to have to throw the ball.
right.
You're going to have to be able to sling
Right.
that thing around a little bit because down
Unless
7,
you
down
build
14.
a defense
yes,
that
or,
can contain some of these teams. This is what I don't understand.
yeah.
They didn't go. Okay, they did get defensive players in the trade right before the deadline, so I thought that was kind of a good move. But like, they're not the Ravens anymore. Like,
Yeah.
think about this, bro. The Ravens, the Ray Lewis Ravens. You always look at the Ravens and you think of like the most smash mouth football, very similar to the Steel Curtain. And as
Yeah.
the game's evolving,
I like the Ravens as a team.
I do too.
With Roquan
Sure.
Smith now as a linebacker. I
Yeah.
like him as a team a lot. The kicker is always going to be clutch.
Best kicker
Jay
in the
Tuck's
league.
not going to miss. John Harwell's a good coach.
75 kicks in a row, under 40 yards.
Sure, right. Unless they get Lamar some help, they brought in Deshaun Jackson and he injured himself
That's
like
it.
right away.
Right away, I said it.
His
We said it live on here. I said, bro, what is he going to run? Just like when he's an Eagle. 1-2 reps,
Yeah.
and then pull
I
his
don't know why I
shit.
said the fakeness of the NFL on not with Lamar. This game, it made me think. I was gonna say because of what happened recently. There was the Bills game
Right.
where I think Gabe Davis caught the ball or he bobbled it and it was underneath 2 minutes and they were supposed to review it, but
they
it didn't.
didn't.
Did you see that, AJ? or
Yeah,
no?
I saw that.
Right? And then they went on. What's going on here? That's a failure of like. And now they speed it up with New York. They could buzz it in, and then the what else? Just this recently, the Eagles win because they don't call the face mask.
Right. The week prior.
The week prior, he got face masked, right? When Goddard got injured.
But did
they
you
don't
even
call
see-
it.
Did you see how soft the call was in general?
Dude,
to extend that
it's
last
so
drive. They
big.
just stop them. They're going to get the ball back. And the guy, dude, listen. If you're scrambling behind the line of scrimmage, and then you just take a knee real quick.
Oh,
yeah, sure. In
yeah.
slow
Oh, yeah.
motion,
Yeah.
it looks like it was a leg
Yeah.
hit helmet.
Yeah.
But bro, like, who would have thought in a million years this guy's going to just drop
Did you
and
guys
take a
talk?
knee?
Yeah. Oh my God. Did you guys
It
talk
was
about the
so
Cowboys
garbage.
or no? The Cowboy game. The
We didn't
Vikings.
get to the Cowboys yet. That's coming up soon.
Oh, because that was a part of the Fugas. CD Lamb got
I saw
held,
that.
my boy.
Yeah.
That was as clear as night as day
Yeah.
that he got held. They don't
Yeah.
call it.
That's what bothered me though. Is like all against the Packers, all these calls that stopped the Cowboys' drive.
Yeah, I just
if
like
you're
it.
gonna call
It is
consistent-
entertaining.
If you're gonna call it consistent, call it
Yeah.
consistent. You're calling all these flags against the Cowboys, and then all of a sudden, the perfect opportunity to get one back on a clear. He was early to the ball, and
They were
CeeDee
favored
Lamb.
by 5. The guy ran it on 2nd and 2, close to the house. Flag, hold him.
That happened 4 or 5 times that drive. So AJ, this one's you actually. Commanders and Texans.
Bro, that's all I really want to talk about.
Man, they can't hear you from out
Guy
there.
Terry, come on inside. I just put a little water on the lamp.
The only person I really want to talk about on the Commanders is Scary Terry, who's just playing week in and week out as a WR1. He started off good, but ended off kind of slow. He only had, I think, 4 catches. Let me see. 4 catches for 55 yards. Brian Robinson, 15 carries for 57 yards. It's a really tough backfield to try to start between Robinson or Gibson. And as far as the receivers, Dotson and Samuel, I'm not really starting any of those guys.
I think there's one super duper sleeper playoff wise against like matchup. Obviously, pick the right matchup is Curtis Samuel. If you look at Curtis Samuel every single week, he's getting like 2 or 3 carries. He's getting like 4 or 5 targets. He's just not scoring touchdowns. Up until last week, he scored a touchdown, of course, just yesterday. But he's just not scoring touchdowns very often. But he had a rushing touchdown yesterday. And I feel like he's like a sneaky sleeper that, depending on the matchup, any injuries happen late, might not be a bad guy to kind of foster just in case. you get that Cooper Cup injury, or you get that type of injury where
Well, if
late.
anything happens to McLaurin, I think if you really look at their receivers and how they're set up, McLaurin is their clear-cut WR1. He's like the best receiver, best skills player, big body. He's the guy.
Yep.
I think Samuel's the underneath guy, kind of like who
Slot.
runs slot, running like across the field more.
Absolutely.
Short yardage, but to
target.
try to get some good yak. And then Jahan Dotson is their stretch the field guy. So I think on games where they're going to be passing the ball a lot, and if they are going to be scoring and they're not going to have this negative game script, then I think Samuel is on the streaming radar. But I think McLaurin is the clear guy to own. I think there's a lot of talk in the beginning of the year about who it was, and I think McLaurin just showed it doesn't matter who your quarterback is. He'll ball. Like, he's just out there, and he doesn't care who the corner is. He's out there.
I agree.
On the Texan side, a little bit of a disappointing performance for Dameon Pierce. I know I've talked about this before, especially when he was balling out and he was just running all over teams. And we're talking about how is he an RB1, is he an RB2? And I was clear and I was adamant the fact that he is an RB2 because
There are matchups where you're nervous.
yeah, he just doesn't have that upside. Game script,
they're
touchdowns,
down.
exactly.
Game script, big time.
And unfortunately for the last 7 weeks, his numbers have been dropping off. No, they're not off, but they've just been declining steadily until now you got one of these bad games where he had, let's see what he had. He had 10 carries for 8 yards and 2 catches for 9 yards. So not many points. We knew that this was a possibility. He's a great runner. But at the same time, if that's your only option, teams want to win this game. So they're going to look to.
Did the Texans get Benjamin? Was it the Texans that got Benjamin?
But who was Benjamin?
Eli.
Benjamin.
Benjamin?
Yeah, I believe so. But
Did he play at all?
No.
So who's getting the who got carries?
Just Pierce. That's it. They didn't
They
carry the
gave
ball.
they gave how many carries to Pierce?
10 carries to Pierce, 5 for the
So
quarterback.
they ran
Mills,
10 times,
and 1
and
for
5
for more. 1 carry for 3 yards.
That's interesting. I mean, I get it. They were down 21-0 after,
And one other thing, Brandon Cooks is back. 3 receptions for 70 yards. It's nice to see him on the field. So I wouldn't really start him either. But if you had to, he's actually not a bad WR2, especially just because he gets some volume and Mills has to throw it to somebody. So he's definitely the guy.
Just think about the Raiders and the Broncos, man. I was tentative on here last week. I was like, oh.
So
man.
let's just start with some big news, actually. So I think the very most important thing of this game is the fact that Melvin Gordon was cut after the game for fumbling issues, and Chase Edmonds also left the game with a high ankle sprain. So Latavius Murray, go ahead, pick that guy up. He's going to be a potential RB2. Again, same thing with these guys we're talking about. He might not have that scoring upside. He might have some very ugly games. He might have 10 carries for 40 yards, no touchdowns. But if they're scoring points, if they're falling down in the red zone, if they're getting some PIs in the end zone or something, he has an opportunity to just kind of fall into the end zone. So he has RB2 potential down the road. I'm not going to say
touchdown dependent, right?
very touchdown dependent, but if he gets this touchdowns, he's going to be borderline RB1. So I think he'd be RB2 just based on volume, and he has RB1 upside. Although I won't rank him in the RB1s.
You can't rank any RB. I don't give a fuck who it is on a team that can't put up 20 points a game. So I agree with that. RB2 for sure, with the TD upside of being an RB1 here and there. But yeah, man, you can't trust the Broncos right now, man.
Yeah, so I mean, but at least that's some. But I think because before it was split between Gordon, Murray, and Edmonds, it was just such a cluttered committee. Exactly. Yeah. So I think with the 2 of them gone, I think I'll roll my dice with Latavius moving forward. Courtland Sutton, 5 receptions for 80 yards. You like to see him involved with Jerry Jeudy out. Again, low upside. He's probably the only receiver I'm starting for the Broncos. Don't want too much, but if you need to start him as a WR2 or flex, I see why. And then Greg Dulcich, 4 for 30. Wasn't his breakout game. Still waiting for him to get into the end zone. But again, I'm lacking tight end, so I don't have like many other options really.
You've been high on Dulcich. Not high, but like you feel it. Like with your heart.
He's good. Like he's involved. He's on the field a lot. He blocks. He runs routes. I mean, Wilson's locked in on him. So again, he's got 5 targets, 4 catches. That's not the volume that's going to give you tight end 1 numbers, but it's still better than 0 targets or 1 target, no catches.
Got a decent floor by all means. I still like Juwan Johnson over him, man. I mean, Juwan Johnson is bad.
I mean, he's got 5 touchdowns in the last 3 games. So
and I've been saying it for how many weeks?
You have been on him a lot lately, low key. So I think we missed our spot to talk about them though.
I think you should have picked up Juwan Johnson. Is what I'm saying.
I just don't trust. I don't just trust Andy Dalton though. I mean, I don't trust freaking.
You gotta know that he
either.
just see. Maybe it's because he went against my division for so long. The guy throws the tight ends. Like he made Tyler Eifert like an actual tight end in the league, and he was nowhere prior.
He's
to
peppering
that.
him with targets.
Yeah, he gets scared. Happy feet. He's got a little seam across. He sees the defense splits wide for the receiving core he has, and that's it. He's quick little 6-8 yarder.
On the Raiders side, Devontae Adams, baller, game-winning walk-off touchdown, 7 receptions, 141, 2 touchdowns.
Hey, so sorry, AJ. I'm gonna keep cutting you off, bro. This might have been what the Raiders low-key needed to like string across some fucking wins, guys. I know it sounds so far-fetched, but like an OT win with Adams scoring it, walk-off TD, like. We've known it all year. Jacob, look at their position players, man. They got ballers on both sides.
Jacob's bald.
Bald.
That's the only other player really I would trust. He had 24 carries for 109. Also, he
He
had
looked great.
3 receptions for 51 yards. So 160 total yards, 27 touches. You like to see that from a fantasy perspective.
Is Waller coming back soon?
Waller, yeah, probably in a couple weeks. He's still on IR, but he'll probably be back by the end of the season. I don't think there's much run left for the Raiders. I think this is clearly the Chiefs and the Chargers division.
I agree.
I think the Broncos and the Raiders are pretty much out of it unless something crazy happens. But for how good those teams
I
are
think we've
playing,
seen that the Chiefs are subjectable to they're look, they're the Chiefs. They're 8-2. I'm not here to say anything bad about them, but I think that we all see that there's ways to beat them. Like when they're struggling to pull away or even take leads in games against the Chargers, who have no receivers, and then the week prior to that,
well, let's just stay on. Well, I got some things I want to say about the
Okay,
Chargers
yeah,
and
you
the
know
Chiefs.
what?
'Cause we're going to get into that in a little bit.
It's in a
But
couple games.
yeah,
You're
but
right.
no,
Go
this is a divisional game, and divisional games are just tough to pick,
Sure.
man. It's so tough. But going to the next game, this is where you were spot on, actually. Before I intro to you, East, you could get in before the Sunday night game, which I'll come back for the Chiefs and Chargers. But we had the Vikings and the Cowboys, and this was. I'll let Jeremy talk about this. This was a pathetic game for the Vikings. Only 3 points scored. Cowboys throttled them 40 points. I know you called it actually. You were like,
yeah,
not
man. I
taking the
mean,
points.
for me, it was super simple, bro. Kirk Cousins on primetime is garbage, and although this was a 1 o'clock game, you know there's usually only 2 or 3 1 o'clock games. And so the way I saw it was pretty simple. It's like, this is America's team, Cowboys, in Dallas, right? Vikings came off of a really big win, emotional win against the Bills. And so I just saw it. I'm like, dude, their defense is going to be hell for Kirk. And yeah, man, I also called Pollard. One of my boys was like, yo, should I start Pollard or not start him since Elliott's coming back? And I said, listen, bro.
Absolutely start Pollard. Absolutely start
Elliott's in a
Pollard.
brace. And if Elliott's in a brace, guess what? They have an excuse to not play Ezekiel Elliott at times. And that's exactly what they did, bro. They played Pollard, but he couldn't get in on the first 2 attempts. So they're like, all right, Zeke, come on out. Zeke rolls in the end zone. I mean, for a game that Pollard had 2 receiving touchdowns, and a game that Elliott had 2 rushing touchdowns, and on a game that Dak pretty much didn't really have to do much, but still got up to 250, 60 yards, plus 2 touchdowns throwing, I think, at the time. The Cowboys are official. You can't look at the game against the Packers and just go, oh yeah, that's it.
Fixed.
That's where it feels fixed, though. You know, you look at it, you're like, yo, bro, they just lost to the Packers.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose to the Vikings because the Vikings just beat the Bills. But that's why it's any given Sunday. That's
They look
why
good,
it's
man.
any given
They
Sunday.
do look good, dog.
They did,
that
man.
Defense looks real.
They did, bro. I mean, look, this is what I said about
I'm
Jetta.
a big CD Lamb guy too. I love CD Lamb.
Me too. And he didn't even have the greatest of games, and they still did what they did. Jay Jetta, bro. I said it. I'm like, yo, he's gonna have a dog on him. Diggs is gonna be on him 1-on-1. So now you're hoping for Hawkinson to do his thing, which he's still getting accustomed. Although his first game there, it was just like here. You know, he's kind of fell off since then. And then Dalvin Cook running the ball. He's had some games where he's been Dalvin Cook, but he's also had some games where he's struggled. And when you look at Dalvin Cook, the run going up against the Cowboys, dude, they pretty much held, Aaron Jones in check. So to me, that was easy. I even said this is so easy. It kind of bothered me how easy it was. I didn't think it was going to be a 40-3 shellacking, but
Yeah,
I thought the
neither did.
Cowboys were definitely going to handle business.
I thought
really
they were
did.
gonna win too. Exactly.
You know? Next one, man, this is a hard one for me to talk about, bro. I'm not going to lie, man. It's the Bengals and the Steelers. This was so frustrating,
Entertaining
bro.
game. It was an entertaining game. scores.
I mean, it was entertaining for people that are fans.
Yeah.
But like as a diehard fan, it was the most frustrating game I've ever came across because I'm sitting here where it's like, look, we handled business week 1 against the Bengals. It took a blocked extra point at the end to even go to OT to win that game. We now have our defense getting healthy. Watt's back, second game. It's at home. And now we have Minka, after getting his appendix removed, he's back. I'm like, oh man, this is the game that we're going to just go ham. And we put up 17 points in the second quarter. Had the lead at halftime and getting the ball back.
Najee looks to be back.
Najee looked to be back. But
What
bro,
a sick
his
touchdown.
vision is probably one of the worst visions that's hidden behind a bad line that I've ever seen in my life. I'm talking
I
about
think did Warren get injured too? The
yeah,
backup.
Jalen got it's his hamstring. We don't know where he's going to be at.
Oh man, so
So,
that's good for
Great
Najee.
for the workhorse, but Jalen was the guy that was going to low key
He
give
seemed
us
more
that
explosive.
explosiveness.
He was doing the Pollard to Zeke thing.
Bro, it's a simple draw, and Najee just didn't even take the draw, went the wrong way, and just like didn't know what to do. Illegal man downfield.
Oh, yeah.
Then it was like we give it to Najee. He could easily just broke it outside. He runs up to the line, he waits, and then he just kind of gets in the middle of the line. I'm just like, yo, bro, you have this.
He really wants to be Levy. He's a poor man's Le'Veon Bell.
He's a poor man's Le'Veon Bell, and I hate to say that because man,
But you
look
know
at-
what? You saw it as a Steeler, bro. When Le'Veon was in his prime, that was the sickest runner you've ever seen.
we had Munchik though.
and it
That's
was
that
a style.
offensive.
You could
That's
see it was the little stop behind the line
had
a little
Munchik.
bit, like skirt, skirt, and then boom.
we had Munchik. Here's the difference between those two teams. Munchik, offensive line coach, he knew how to designate people and how to give them techniques in order to push forward and get that push. That's why Le'Veon, when you hike the ball and there's already two yards of separation, that's why he's waiting. He's like, which hole's open?
Yeah, but I feel like he was
this one
really
opens?
good at that part.
And then he was
then
explosive.
exploding through it. Yeah,
Najee has the same,
that little fall
awareness.
forward stuff. Hey, but take
but he
nothing away from
doesn't
Zeke. Too.
explode.
Zeke is still a always falls forward kind of
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
You feel me? He never gets pushed back.
It's
And he's
very
gonna be a
rare.
bruiser. And Tony Pollard is clearly the better runner. I think he's taken the RB1 ranks from him. But you still need to have that bruiser, which they did on the goal
It's a
line
great
yesterday.
thunder and lightning
they're
combo.
good.
I think that they need to use them better. I think using Pollard on first downs, second downs, third downs isn't a bad idea
Not
here
at
and
all.
there. Having Zeke come in with fresh legs on the third and shorts, the fourth and shorts, the goal line work.
It's opening
I
the
think
jar a
that's the
little bit,
awesome-
you know?
Yeah, I think.
Loosened it up for you a little
Well,
bit.
you just
and
don't
then
want
you
to be
open it.
predictable. You don't want to every time you put in
loosened
Zeke,
it up
you
for
know
you.
you're running it.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But yeah, man. So that game was frustrating. 37-30, Bengals beat the Steelers. I don't know what happened, man. Our offensive coordinator wasn't on the same page with our offense. Our offensive line was not really getting the pushes we want. We got a lot of penalties late, and I think right now Pickett is in that headspace where he's like, he came out, right? And he's like, I don't give a shit. I'm slinging it. And it was a lot of turnovers. Then it was like, yo, I can't turn the ball over like this. So then he goes to turnover-free game, and we get a win. And he's like, okay, maybe that is
Those
the
are those
trick.
mistakes. You're gonna have to again. Coach.
He didn't have
speak,
any turnovers,
cliche.
bro. He had no turnovers.
Yeah, but
we
like,
picked off Burrow twice. No turnovers by Pickett, but
Yeah.
we just couldn't push the
The
fucking
learning
ball.
curves, like you said, he's a dog. He's gonna be good.
He will be.
Like if you're a fan of the Steelers, he is gonna be, like the kind of leader you want. Like I said,
I
like, I would be like the future's bright.
I
Future's
fully
bright in
agree.
Chicago, like you're like that type. It's really yeah. But you got just the growing pains that you deal with right now.
I fully agree. AJ, come holler at him with this one, dude. This is the Chiefs and Chargers, which you called to a T.
The last game.
All right, this was an easy call. A lot of money to be made. Early line +7, moved down to +5. Divisional game. Chargers are getting healthy. They got their 2 receivers back. Unfortunately, Mike Williams got injured, so he left the game with his ankle. It was nice to see Keenan Allen back. He was on a snap count, but I didn't see anything. I didn't see any regression or anything where he got hurt. So I think moving forward, I didn't start him. I actually started Kadarius Toney, which I'll get into the Chiefs on the other side. But I started Keenan Allen and 5 catches for 94 yards. Josh Palmer, 8 catches for 106 and 2 touchdowns. I think he's going to be involved, especially with Williams out and Keenan Allen being back. I think they're going to try to use as many weapons as they can. Eckler, 19 carries for 83 80
good.
yards and a touchdown.
If you have him full PPR, he's so good.
He only had 2 receptions for 17 yards, so he did his work on the ground, which is great to see. But yeah,
I only had 2
PPR.
catches for 17 yards. Wow, that's nothing. Then that's a bad game for Austin. Then
Yeah, so and then on the Chiefs side,
how good is Patrick Mahomes, dog?
I mean,
That guy's the
Mahomes
best
is
ever.
obviously my favorite player. Like he's the LeBron James of
He's the best ever. That's you
Oh,
see them
they
down,
fell.
man. Yeah, you see them down. I'll always naturally ask him, or we'll just say it like, "Hey, talk Chiefs second half."
Yeah, well, so there's two
I think
stats.
it's the easiest thing in the entire world.
There's
Like,
two stats that they kept mentioning, and I didn't even know this was a thing. But number one, Pat Mahomes is 14-0 on road divisional games, so he's never lost on the road into a divisional opponent.
wow, I didn't know that.
Also, Pat Mahomes 14-0 against road divisional games. Another fun fact: Pat Mahomes is undefeated in the months of November and December. So this seems good. And
Well, he's
it's gonna be
so
hard.
unfairly good. I was like, those opportunities come, but every time it happens, you're right. Like, do they not win? When he has the ball, down to that Buffalo Bills 13-second shit, do they not win the ball win the ball? Do they not win the game if he gets the ball almost every
Hold
time?
on, man. Can we step away for a second and just talk about it? Do they also not get fucking calls a lot? Like the call against Kelsey was super suspect in my eyes, and I'm not hating on the Chiefs.
Kelsey too, man.
It's Travis Kelsey running at you. You guys get tangled for a second, and he fucking drips off. In the end of the game, when the game counts, 3rd down, 4th downs, I see the laundry all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe
Can't hate on him.
it could be the Michael Jordan
keep that
effect.
shit.
It could be the Michael Jordan
Bro,
effect.
I 100%. Dude, what's the show on Netflix? What is it?
Which one?
No, what's the one on Netflix with the coach? The coach, the referee that was gambling.
Oh,
Donahue.
Yes. That show is the first time I actually even looked at shit like that. Where I was like, yo, okay, so who's the poster boy in the NFL? Pat Mahomes, rightfully so. He's gifted.
yeah.
And all the time, bro, it's like, I don't know about that. Wow, that sucks.
I mean, I got some controversial statements I'm gonna hold for myself. I don't think I should say it, but I think this league is I don't even know if I could say it, to be honest.
Why? No, you're not gonna get sued by the NFL. Hopefully
I just
not.
not appropriate. I feel like I feel like the league is racist, to be honest. Like, I think there's a huge discrepancy between white and black quarterbacks and what kind of flags are thrown. So I think
That's
like,
real. It could be real. No,
I mean, I'll be
absolutely.
honest with you, like Josh Allen or Herbert. Like, I don't know if you saw the roughing the passer Herbert took when he went to the sideline. Like, I don't know if that was really roughing the passer, but he gets that call, and I don't think Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts, I don't think they get those same calls. I know they're running quarterbacks, but this is always kind of like
someone who's mixed and knows both sides of it. Mahomes gets those calls half the time.
as bad
The
as
other half of the time, he does not.
I think it's who he plays against. You know what it is.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, but yeah, no, he's a baller. Travis Kelce's a baller. 6 reception, 115 yards. I want to talk about Isaiah Pacheco, who I picked up this week and started. 15 carries, 107 yards. First time a rusher has broke over 100 yards for the Chiefs, and like
He might be doing it now.
Before
Not
you
him.
go any deeper, I'm gonna let you say everything you need to say. Who fucking said on the show when Issa was here that Pacheco will lead the fucking league in rushing one year, whether he's a Chief, not a Chief? He
No,
runs
next year
so
for the Chiefs.
fucking hard.
no, he just needs to catch the ball
Fuck, he
more.
runs
If he
so
catches the ball more and he has that reception upside, he could be up there. But I think
He
moving
just runs
forward.
so hard.
Look, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, not only has he been being phased out of the game, he left the game with an injury. So
Oh, man.
let's get him kind of out of there. And then Jerick McKinnon, who I like a lot, is explosive, has good hands, fumbles late in the game. And that's kind of like...
Who has Pacheco in our
especially-
league right now?
I have him.
I had him.
I had him
dropped
at one
the
point.
game
I had
before he
him.
went off.
But
I had him, and then I dropped him.
I finally got some
You picked
roster
him up and
spots.
dropped him.
And speaking of, I started Kadarius Toney in 2 of my leagues, which was a busto. I started him over Keenan Allen. You could cut him. He's had this hamstring injury with the Giants, and that's why the Giants kind of shipped him out of there. And with these soft tissue injuries, you don't really know when he's going to be back and or when you could trust him. So say he misses 2-3 weeks, his first week back, you can't even really start him until you see him getting an allotment of full snaps. So he's kind of out the door. Hoping Juju comes back. But yeah, Juju, Pacheco, and Kelsey are kind of the starts. MVS, not really. Sky Moore, he had a little bit of emergence, but I think that's because they're depleted and they don't have those weapons with Juju and McCole Hardman out. So I'm trying to get as much pieces of these Chiefs as I can for the back end because they have all the touchdown upside. So
What?
I think the Chargers are more deadly than the Chiefs if they have a full roster right now.
well, the one thing I want to say about the Chargers is wait till they get Bosa back because they have the worst rushing defense and they're just running the ball up the middle. But throw Bosa in there, throw Khalil Mack in there. You got Derwin James. They got a pretty solid team. Herbert's a winner. He's getting healthy, so they'll be able to match any team offensively. I already know
They'll
that.
be there at the end. They'll get one of the wild card spots for sure. I think
Yes.
Chargers will. And they'll
Hey,
make
what
some
about-
noise.
What about this, you guys? AFC East. Dolphins, Bills.
The worst team is 6-4.
Jets.
Yeah, the worst record 6-4. That's the first time in a long time.
Dolphins, Bills, Jets,
Patriots.
and Patriots.
Yeah. Last place is 6-4.
It's a good division.
That's kind of fucking nuts. They got this extra playoff spot. I'm like, damn, is this the... Can you put all 4 of them in there?
Can they? I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
shit, the AFC North, you only got the Ravens right now. Maybe the Bengals, depending on how they
Or
play.
if every
with
team makes
Chase
it in
back.
there, yeah, they could.
Yeah.
If every team,
I
yeah,
mean,
they
if
No,
could.
but the
continue
Bengals
to-
start rolling at this point too, and they're gonna get Chase back, and they're starting to get healthy. This is kind of where the Bengals start really getting together. Joe Burrow is a really good quarterback. He's really good decision making. I think his pre-snap reads are really, really good. He's a great third down
Can
quarterback.
I tell you what
which-
was the most impressive thing about Burrow this week? When we played him week 1, we annihilated him. 7 sacks, 4 picks, a fumble. The adjustments this motherfucker made with no Jamar Chase, he didn't hold the ball more than 1 second, dog.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
One
that's
second.
Burrow's good.
it's so hard to sweep. It's so hard to sweep, and we talked about that, right?
is.
So, like, yeah, I mean, the Patriots did it, but that was really about it. And, yeah, and
You can take your seat when you sign off.
Even the Patriots, too, one last thing I want to say, they should have never even covered the spread. They should have been down. The guy did a block in the back, and Nick Folk missed a couple field goals, so they should have only won that game by 3.
I like the fact that
Which-
they didn't call the block in the back because the man was on the 7-yard line and there's no way old boy's
matter. You
catching
can't-
him.
It doesn't
though,
matter,
dog.
though. He still
But how
blocked him
many
in the
times
back.
do they call that and it drives me nuts?
But
It's
it's
like,
come on, you didn't have to do it though. But what's
Yeah.
up? That's it. Onside kicking it. I don't think we're gonna do a preview on Thursday. Enjoy your time with your
Hey,
family.
our name's right
Happy
finally.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
Shit. I think we have to switch sides from now on.
Our name's
Happy
right.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Turkey Day for sure. We're not shooting on Thursday.
We got some picks for you guys though, some good ones. So
Hey, well, look, for some of those that don't have socials and didn't get to see us drop our videos, tonight we have the Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers. And AJ brought up a good point. They're playing in Mexico City. The irony is there's always usually high-scoring games in Mexico City. They want these international games to be high-scoring. So I kind of liked your over pick, even though there's no Zach Ertz, no Marquise Brown, no Murray. I still kind of like that over pick because
Cliff
McCoy.
McCoy. So we got
McCoy.
Cliff Kingsbury, who's an offensive-minded coach, and Colt McCoy, who's more than serviceable as a backup. Also, look to see the 49ers are not at full strength at defense, although they're getting pieces back. They're getting better. They might have a defensive score or a special team score, so I see some points being scored in this game. I mean, they could just swallow them and Cardinals don't score. That's the only way this game goes under, but 43, not too much.
I got 2 locks in this game. I got a first half lock, -6 points, Niners. I got a overall game, -10, Niners. And the only reason why, I have a little inclination today that Deebo Samuel actually goes off. Knowing Shanahan and how offensive genius he is, knowing that Elijah Mitchell had more carries off of the IR first game back than CMC, and they both balled out, mind you. Kittle's getting involved. Debo is kind of like, Ayuk is getting involved. Debo's kind of been the guy that's been quietly just not really performing. I can see this is a game that even if they have a lead, this is the time where they get Debo a little bit more involved, get him to pay dirt real quick, get his momentum and his energy up, and just make it that much more confusing as a defense moving on. So I think the prop bet of the day is Debo scores a touchdown. I think also Niners just handle business methodically. I think that they're going to take the lead early. They're going to hold the lead late.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I just don't like the big spreads, to be honest. And if it
Love
wasn't if it was in Arizona, I would be rolling with the under. But Mexico City, let's put a show on for the fans.
So you got over.
I got over.
I got Niners, first half and second half. We'll see y'all not Thursday, but next Monday. And don't forget, like, subscribe. Onside Kicking It at onsidekickingit.com takes you here. At Onside Kicking It on all platforms, social media. We got Twitter.
And we'll see you during the week
Instagram.
with our posts. We're giving you some locks during the week, so we'll catch you guys soon.
Absolutely, yeah. Take care, y'all.
Peace out.
Onside Kicking It. Thanks, Easy E. Come say bye, Easy E, real quick.